I have my own personal religious miracles, and no one is required to believe them. I don't have a choice to believe them because I experienced them. So I have to believe in them. June 19th, 1979, God showed up. That was the most enlightening, the greatest day, the greatest wonder that ever happened in my life. God sat down and they explained to me how they evolved, where it all began, what this world is. Well, I didn't know that. In my wildest imaginations, I could not deduce that. God had to explain it to me. As a result of that great experience, I wrote the Song of God. Believe it or not, I count that as a miracle because I know what kind of grades I got in school. I was not the sharpest pencil in the box. It took me 28 years to write the book. Now, I count that as a miracle. I can read the Song of God, and I'm still captured by its beauty. I'm captured by its power. And it's hard for me to realize I wrote this book. It's hard for me to realize that I actually know what Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother look like. I know the sound of their voices. I know how they dress. I know a lot of their opinions. They tell the most marvelous stories. You know how charming it is to hear Heavenly Father chuckle? Or to hear Heavenly Mother laugh? She'll tell me a funny story to perk up my spirits because I might be just a wee bit depressed. She'll tell me some funny anecdote, and then she'll just have this most pleasant little laugh. It's very endearing. These, to me, are great miracles. I'll tell you something else. Knowing the evolution of God. How did God become God? That, to me, is a great miracle, to have Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother explain the process. How was heaven created? That's all evolutionary. They didn't go against evolution. They used evolution. Another thing that's interesting to me, or I consider miraculous, is God's science. We can look in the universe and see the presence of 4 forces. You've heard me talk about them. There's gravity, electromagnetism, there's strong force and weak force. But God, through His science, or God through their science, has created a 5th force called space-time. God can move through time as easily as I move through the rooms of my apartment. That's how far advanced their science is. And because it is that far advanced, they have created a 5th force, space-time itself. Another thing that I think is miraculous is mortal life theory. Now, I didn't know anything about this prior to meeting God. God had to explain it to me. I didn't even know to ask the questions. I had the basic questions that everybody else had. Why are we here? Where are we going? What happens to us after we die? What's it all about? I had those big questions, but humans have been asking that question since humans began dreaming. God explained it. God sat down and said, son, this is how it works. And God unraveled the great mysteries of mortal life theory, the pursuit of meaning. It's one of the things that is so unique about being human. We have a universe unmade by God, yet it exists with all of its wonders. But there is something it does not possess because it doesn't have the mind to ask. Why? We will give the universe the meaning it lacks. Give us time. That's all we need. Time. Humanity is not going to destroy itself. Don't listen to the doomsdayers. There is no Armageddon. There's no day of judgment. There's only life and time. It's on our side. From this species, your species, my species, humanity, will come the greatest of all miracles. Meaning, it's what we do. We have such dreams as a species. And from these dreams, we have created our science, our art, our music, our literature, our governments, from our dreams. But so many people today are haunted by nightmares, and all they can see is the nightmare. They need to be woke up. They need to know that they have been asleep, and that the world is not filled with nightmares. The world is filled with dreams and possibilities. And with a little effort, we will achieve extraordinary things.